Hello, everybody. So, yesterday I followed a workshop in burlesque. I don't know if you've ever danced burlesque. I don't know if you've ever seen burlesque, but it's pretty damn awesome. Especially to watch it. To do it is can be very awkward. So, okay, the story is that I signed up for this course in Lindy Hop, which I'm gonna start this Thursday. And as I signed up for it, I asked the lady that was going to teach me, I asked her, like, oh, do you do any other dances? And she was like, yeah, blah, 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 I'm doing this. She does so many dances, I can't even keep up with all the dances she does. It's amazing. She is a talented lady and an amazing teacher. So she also told me then that she was doing a workshop in burlesque on the last Saturday of the summer holiday. And I was like, okay, well, do you have any spots left? So I signed up, not really thinking about what I was getting myself into. Just thinking I would have a fun dance workshop, which is all I was going for, to be honest. Just have fun and dance for an hour and a half. So as I got there, I remembered this movie I'd seen called Burlesque and how they danced, and I realized I was like, oh no. Like I read the outfit I had to wear, and it was like female, like wear something that makes you feel feminine. I was like, okay, so that's a dress, and then bring heels. So everybody brought heels. Some had their hair, no, like half of us had our hair stuck on our head, like in a bun. But then 5 minutes in, everybody let their hair loose because everybody was like, oh, wait, burlesque, never ever put your hair in a bun during burlesque. So we learned so much. We learned how to work with what's the word? Is it a waver? Like, when the air is hot and your hand is like to give you some cold air, like a thing like that, like a wooden thing. I don't know what the word is. So that's a boa and gloves, like these really long, bright red gloves. So we learned to dance, we learned to walk the walk, we learned to, do everything with the eyes, like seduce and be like, oh, and like surprised and like hee, whoops, did that really happen? All those looks, we learned all of it. It was so much fun. In the beginning it was so awkward, everybody was giggly and just like not really knowing how to move and feeling very awkward, and then after like an hour we all kind of got the hang of it, and it was so much fun. So everybody out there, I advise you to try a workshop in burlesque. It is so much fun. It is, you feel giggly and awkward half the time, but the other half, you feel great about yourself because you look good and you feel good. Everybody can feel good. And this is, burlesque is one of those dances that is, in my opinion, it's kind of there for women to remind you how beautiful you are and how amazing your body is and how like seductive and beautiful and just feminine we all are, because we are, and we should embrace that. So burlesque is a dance and it's a movie. It's a movie from 2010, and it stars some of the most amazing people. I freaking love some of these people. There's Eric Dane, who plays Marcus, and you will know him from Grey's Anatomy. There is Cher, who, do I even need to introduce her? She is amazing. I mean, maybe if you need to know her from one movie, she was in Mamma Mia 2. But she is just, I think she needs no introduction. Cher. Then there's Cam Gigantets. I don't know how to say his name. Anyway, apparently he was in Twilight, which I thought was very funny, because I didn't know that. Sorry, buddy. Yeah. But I know him from something else. I know him from another movie. I'm pretty sure I've seen him in other films before. Just can't figure out which one. Easy A. No, that was also the other guy. Huh. Okay, I haven't figured it out yet. Then there is Julianne Hough, who, I mean, Footloose, Safe Haven, Rock of Ages, need I go on? This woman is amazing. She is amazing. Then we have Stanley Tucci. Tucci? I don't know how to say it right. Anyway, he was in Juliet and Julia? How do I say that right? And he was in some of the final movies of the Hunger Games series. He was in Beauty and the Beast as Maestro Cadenza. And, I mean, that man is amazing. And then we have Kristen Bell, the voice of Anna, the voice of Gossip Girl, the woman behind The Good Place, or in The Good Place, Veronica Mars. I mean, this cast is so good. And then there is Terrence Jenkins from Think Like a Man, and Think Like a Man 2, Battle of the Year. Remember when I talked about him in Battle of the Year? Or in that episode. I wasn't in the movie. In the episode. Yeah, I mean, it's just, the cast is so good. I mean, I was blown away, and there are even more people in the cast that are just so amazing, and I can't even name all of them, but they were so just fantastic. I freaking loved it. So the movie basically is about this girl. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Okay, I totally forgot. Alicia, no, not Alicia Keys. Just kidding. She's in my head for some other reason. Christina Aguilera, who plays Allie. I should include that. Yep, that is a very important one. So you know her from her music and from all the time she's been on TV. I can't even start. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at the list right now because I was like, which movies can I name her from? And I'm just like, there's so much stuff. These aren't movies, but there's so much stuff. So I'm just gonna leave that, for just her name. So if you Google her name, you will find her, because you will always find Christina Aguilera, because she's just too amazing. So the movie is about this girl who moves from Iowa to LA to follow her dreams, and she wants to find she wants a job. Like, she needs a job basically, because her place gets robbed, which to me, that's one of the creepiest things that can happen. Somebody breaking into your home, trashing it, and then taking your important stuff, or like your backup money, or stuff like that, Like, that is, to me, that is one of the scariest things that can happen, because that is your home. Like, you don't feel safe in a place that people break into. I don't know. I've never had this happen to me. Thank goodness. I'm so grateful for that. But if somebody were to break into my house, after that, I wouldn't feel safe in it. Even if I put down like 5 locks, made sure that, everything was like set, like it looked like a prison from the outside, but you couldn't get in. You know how prisons look very scary from the outside, but at the same time you think, well, nobody would break in here. So like these old-fashioned houses, I don't know if you've seen these. I saw them in New York, I saw them in The Hague, like in these cities where the windows on like the first floor, and in New York it was like first, second, third very often, because people would climb up like on the side of the wall, and then they look like a prison on the outside. It's like brick wall and stuff in front of your window so that you cannot enter. But on the inside, even though you can't open your window that far because of it, you do feel safe, because there's no way for anybody to get in through your window. And now, of course, in her place, somebody broke in through her door, trashed the whole place, which freaking sucks. But because of that, she needed to go. She needed a job. She got herself a job. She didn't wait for anybody to get her a job. This is the thing about this movie, is that Allie goes after what she wants, and she's like, okay, I need this job. I need a job. And at first she's like, I want that job, like dancing on stage. I want that. But she can't really, like, she doesn't show that she has the skills for the dancing. So Tess says no. But then she picks up a tray and she starts, she becomes a waitress, because she is like, I need a job. Like, I need a job. And it's very interesting how when she does this thing where she's like, I need a job, I'm just gonna do this, I'm gonna show you I'm good enough. And she is better than the other one. I'm gonna show you I'm good enough, and I'm just gonna do it. And then she does, and she gets the job, right? Like, that is the whole thing. She gets the job. And I mean, Jack gives it to her, but when Tess asked about it, she's like, what is she still doing here? And Jack is basically like, she really needed a job, and Allie proves herself. Like, it's not like he gave her a job out of just pity. It's like, well, there's pity involved, of course, because she looked, I mean, the whole situation was a bit sad. Like, we're not gonna say that that's true, but she also proves herself to be a hard worker. Like, pity doesn't get you anywhere if it's just pity. If it's pity connected to your hard work, connected to being a nice person, then you can get pretty far. Okay. So she gets her foot in the door. She she sometimes dances while bringing people their drinks, which is funny. I think it's funny. Yeah, and then when time goes on, Tess gets a liking into her, like starts to really like Allie, because Allie reminds Tess of herself, and Nikki freaking hates Allie, and wants her out, but Tess is keeping her, so I don't particularly enjoy Nikki. I mean, at the end, she kind of comes around, but that's more that Tess lets her back in than that it's Nikki coming around. So I don't know. I'm not particularly fond of Nikki. That being said, I do get why Tess said you're home, because Nikki isn't just a friend like any other friend. Nikki is family to Tess. So I get it. I do. You forgive family for a lot of stuff. Because it's still family. Even though all the shit they pulled and all the horrible things they said, it's still family. You can't ever get rid of that truth. You can get rid of them. You can take them out of your life, but you can never take their DNA out of you. You're always going to be part of the family. Now you choose whether you stick around or not. That is, of course, a decision. You choose whether you let them back in or not after you've kicked them out, like Tess does with Nikki. But you can't choose who your family is. You don't have a choice in that. You can choose who your friends are, and your friends can become family for sure. I do that. I call some of my friends sisters instead of friends, because they're closer like a sister to me than a friend. Because I figured out over the past couple months, that I kind of have a hierarchy of people in my head. I have like first you have family, then you have friends, then you have people I know, and then I have everybody else. And friends can move up to family, but family in my head can move down to people I know. Like acquaintances. Like family that you never speak to or never see. They're more like acquaintances than they are family. So that's what I started to think when I saw them. I was like, oh, I wouldn't tell you as much as I tell my friends, and you're not as close to me as my friend is. You're still family, but you would be below my list of you would be under these friends when it comes to my list of priorities. So where do I put you? And then I realized, oh, so it's family, friends, acquaintances. And acquaintances are like people I know. Sometimes people I know is a separate lane, because I'm like, well, acquaintances I talk to, people I just know of. So maybe people I know is below acquaintances and then everybody else. And people move up and down that list all the time, and it's not good or bad. It's just time, Like people change, I change, life takes you places. I take myself places. So yeah, I think that's mostly that. So anyway, basically, Allie moves in with Jack after her place gets trashed, and Jack has a thing for Allie and Allie has a thing for Jack. That's a thing from the beginning. You can see that. Also, from the beginning, you can see that Marcus does have a thing for Allie and Allie does not have a thing for Marcus. They have chemistry. Yes, that is very true. But they don't have a thing. They don't have a thing like Jack and Allie do. They don't have a thing like Tess and Vince. No, was he called Vince? No, Tess and Sean. Sorry. Tess and Sean do, because Vince is Tess' ex. I don't like Vince. He is such a complainer and just one of those annoying people who just complains and is like, oh, all these problems and all these issues and you need to fix them. And he doesn't fix anything himself. He's like, you need to fix this and you need to do that. And I'm like, boy. Because he's not a man. Because if you can only complain about stuff and not figure out solutions that are good for everybody, because selling the club is not good for Tess, even though Vince tries to portray it like it is. I'm like, boy, this club means everything to her. Why on earth would you think that taking it away from her is a good decision? It is not a good decision. So I thought that was really weird. So that then so Allie and Jack where was I? Allie and Jack have this thing between them that when you see two friends or when two people meet and they have this instant connection, you're like, it will happen. It might not happen today, it might not happen this week, this month, this year, but it will happen. These two will get together sometime and it will be more than just friends, So she moves in with him, she sleeps on the couch. Then his girlfriend says that he has to pay everything there because she has to pay everything the place where she's living. So he needs Allie now for rent, so she stays, she gets the bedroom. And there's this constant thing going on, and the further you get into the movie, the more you're like, Jack, please break up with your girlfriend because we really like you and Allie together. So then he says he broke up with his girlfriend, which he did. Here's the thing though. He did break up with her, and he broke up with her over the phone. Now, you can say what you want, but that girl can only talk about herself, like the girlfriend, who I think is called Natalie. Natalie is played by the girl from Glee, right? I think so. Diana Agron is Glee, yes. And I am number 4, yes. I knew it. I was right. Okay. So he breaks up with Natalie over the phone, which I don't want to say that breaking up over the phone is good. I mean, when you break up, you got to do it in person. It's this thing that, I don't know if you have it, but I believe that it's better to break up in person because it's the honest way to do it. However, Natalie is on the other side of the country, and she doesn't really care that much about Jack because she only talks about himself. Or herself, not himself. She only talks about herself. Even Sean says it to Jack a lot. Like, he says it a lot, actually. So And that made me think that Jack should have broken up with her a long time ago, but apparently he was holding on to her or something. I don't know. I don't know why he was still with her when she left, because she sounds not like a great girlfriend. But Sean does compliment Ellie a lot, and it's like that one won't stick around forever. That one is honest and good, and she's right here. And it makes Jack think a lot, like, what am I gonna do? And then basically Natalie doesn't show up for the wedding of Georgia and her boyfriend. And basically that sets in motion that Jack is now a free man, and then Jack and Ellie get together, and it's all amazing. And she pushes him, and he pushes her, and they're both very happy, with each other and being themselves and where they are, because Ellie started singing on stage, but I will jump into that in a little bit. But then Natalie comes home, between I don't know, signs like home. It's not her home. And then she gets really mad, and then Jack says to Ellie that she's gotta go, and then basically he kicks Ellie out, right? That is Ellie being kicked out of her house. Because she lives with Jack. She pays rent. That is her house. And and that's where I'm like, Jack, that was a mistake. Like, that was a stupid thing to do. You cannot kick Ellie out. That was a stupid decision. If Natalie was a piece of crap to you, you cannot put her first in this situation. Yes, he broke up with her over the phone, but that's because she didn't pay any attention to him for months and months. She only thought about herself, and she let him deal with everything else. And she only talked about herself, and she... I don't know. I don't like her. I didn't like her. I don't like her. I thought she had it coming. Maybe that's really mean. I didn't like her. You can have a different opinion than I do. That's fair. That's fine. But I thought that Jack and Ellie were just right for each other. And it made me really sad to see Ellie get so hurt. And then she started to hang around more with Marcus. And from Marcus she learned about air rights, which saved the club, which I had never heard of. I didn't know about air rights. But apparently that's a big business. I should have known that. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna look into investing in. No, just kidding. I don't have the money for that. But I thought that was really cool. Another thing, let me think. What I really wanted to talk about is, Ellie taking her chance. So Ellie she got on stage because Nikki was so drunk that she couldn't dance, according to Tess, so Tess kicked her out. And then Ellie got on stage for Nikki. And then Nikki tried to sabotage Ellie's performance by taking out the music. And then Ellie started to sing. And that moment, before she started to sing, you saw her looking up at the music. You saw her looking sideways. You saw her thinking, like, am I gonna do this? Is this the right call? And it was a decision, right? It was like, is this the right decision to make right now? Is this the good thing, the smart thing to do? And she decided, because she didn't know if it was a smart thing to do, but she decided that it was. And so she started to sing, and Christina Aguilera has this voice that is just wow. So she started to sing, and Tess said stop, because they were letting down the curtain, and she let them pull it back up, and Ellie killed it. That was amazing, that performance. So and then Tess builds a show around Ellie. And a lot of stuff happens, of course. And I freaking love watching Burlesque. I love that dance. It looks amazing. And the dance has a story. It's playing it's playing with the people that are watching, because it makes you laugh, and it's like, oh, all the time. And it's a wink here, it's a smile there, it's naughty, it's all of those. It's such a kind of beautiful feminine dance that it's so amazing how they can dance like that. So yeah, I thought it was really cool to I thought it was really cool to watch. I love this movie. I've seen it a couple times now. I keep watching it like every 1-2 years I watch it, because it's one of those movies that you can it's like, it reminded me of the book City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's got this same feeling as that book. So Elizabeth Gilbert is an amazing writer, and she described the book that she wanted it to go down like pink champagne. And this movie, even though it's like sad, serious fights and all that stuff on the sides, in the middle, it's burlesque, it's dance, it's feminine, it's beautiful, and maybe people think that the story isn't as good as it could be, but it's not only about the story. And that is what I think people sometimes get wrong with dance movies. Like, okay, maybe the storyline is a bit basic. Maybe the storyline is a bit predictable. Which for this, I would say that the storyline was really good. But maybe it was a bit predictable. Okay, but that's not a problem, because it's a dance movie. So part of the storyline, or part of the point of the movie, is to put forward all the dancing. And you know how much storyline there is in dancing? And if you add that on top of everything else, you get this amazing movie that in the end also has a happy ending, thank goodness. I am a sucker for movies with happy endings. I cannot handle movies with bad endings. Like, don't finish the Divergent series if you can't handle that stuff. I did not know. So it's fun, it's beautiful, it's entertaining, it got all the qualities of a good movie, and therefore I believe it is a good movie. And it's got an amazing cast. I freaking love movies like this. There's singing, there's dancing, there's people breaking out in songs, there is romance, there is slow conversations, which I think are always made in a way that they try to make them like sensual or something, but somehow slow conversations are always like, I get goosebumps from them, so maybe it works. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, so overall it's a great movie. I had a fun time watching this movie again. I watched it right after my burlesque, well, not right after, but like a little while after my burlesque class yesterday, because it was just so much fun. I love this movie, and the burlesque class, the workshop, reminded me of this movie. So I had like double the fun with burlesque yesterday, and I hope you get to try a burlesque dance course, and otherwise maybe look up a video on YouTube and try it for yourself. You'll feel very awkward, but if nobody's around, then that's fine. And enjoy the movie, and if you've seen it, let me know what you think.